Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Freddy with Freddy Can Fly. In this video tutorial we're going to cover some more mid-level to advanced pilot skill-based maneuvers, and I wanted to go over a couple here. Obviously in our last video we got comfortable with all of our orientation based inverted hovers, transitioning in and transitioning out. So we should be fluent in both right side up and also inverted flying at all times. So now that we're at that point, what we can start doing is throwing some tricks together, because obviously that's the whole purpose of 3D flying and acrobatics, is getting some cool tricks in there. So we'll go over a couple tricks in this tutorial here. The first couple things I want to tackle with you guys is throwing aileron and elevator rolls together to create some pretty cool combinations. And what I mean by that is obviously we can front flip half the way there. From there we can actually rotate our tail, back flip out if we want to. Now we can rotate our tail, go into a sideways hover, rotate our tail, and these are basically just half flips followed by a slight tail rotation and then transitioned out by a half flip. We can do a back flip here, go this way if we want to, front flip out, go this way, back flip, go this way, front flip. And you can actually do this repeatedly and get some pretty cool effects. One of my favorite basic flip combinations is a side flip, back flip, and then the opposite side flip, and then a front flip. And it creates like this really cool little chain effect here, where if we can stay stationary with it by controlling our pitch management correctly, it adds a really cool effect. And then once you take it another level, we can really start throwing some tail in there and getting a little crazier with it, and that's always fun to do. It gets a little confusing, so just work into it slow. So front flips, back flips, and both aileron based flips, you know, are kind of like your building blocks for almost every trick you can do out there. So you need to just get really good, just practice those, do some front flips, you know, get really good to where if I want to front flip really low to the ground, I can hold that front flip all day long, really low to the ground. From there, start practicing the nosedive based front flips, where we're going to let it kind of ride out and kind of just come down, and then we're going to save it. You know, now maybe we want to rotate our tail and take it back up and come out nose facing us and do a right side up hover. Just get, you know, use your imagination and get really creative with just front flips, back flips, and aileron flips. And you'll find that the trick combinations are never ending. You know, we can aileron flip like this, we can aileron flip like this, we can do that stall we talked about. And guys, really keep that stall into consideration, because it's really important for real life flying. On the simulator you don't notice it as much as far as loading up the blades or stalling down the blades, but in real life you'll notice it. So, you know, if we wanted to do this here in real life, where I'm just holding that aileron down and I'm rolling and flipping, it's doable, but you'll hear the head dramatically get slow sounding, almost like it gets sluggish, because you're really loading up those blades. Whereas if I were to do it in sequence like this, let it stall, let it stall, let it stall, it'll unload that head in between every transition, and the heli will stay a lot smoother running, and also it won't rough up the heli as much. So basic flips, rolls, get those down really well. The next one I wanted to go over, most of the pros, they consider this to be a Mobius loop, and what this basically is going to be is it's a different version of a half pirouette flip, if you will. A half pirouetting flip is going to be nosing forward, giving the tail, and then coming out of it like this, also to transition out. So you're doing basically a half rotation onto the rudder in your stalling position. So there's our stall, rotate, come out. There's our stall, rotate, come out. So what the Mobius loop is it's a transition in between those two, and you kind of keep it on an angle. So the way it's going to work is we're going to, this is what a Mobius loop should look like, is like this. You know, and you kind of propel it both left and right and left and right. And this is a really good basic beginner 3D maneuver. And with that being said, you can make it dramatic to where we're going like this, you know, kind of give it a little bit more dynamics. You can throw it this way really hard, you can throw it this way really hard. This one's actually the Mobius figure 8 we went over a little bit earlier. But it comes in really handy. You'll notice if I freestyle fly, I use the Mobius loop quite a bit, just because it's so basic, but it's got such a cool look to it. So practice front flips, side flips, throw in that Mobius loop a little bit, and start learning how to work that tail in to get some cool effects. Another one of my favorite tricks, you guys, is I like to come back tail facing me this way and throw in a barrel roll, followed with a tail rotation followed by another barrel roll. So it's going to look something like this. We're going to come back at us, we're going to rotate, flip that tail, and rotate out. It's really simple, but it allows you to set the heli up for all kinds of new, you know, you can transition into some pretty cool stuff. And just to show you, you know, so if I were to throw that combo in real quick, I would come at me, tails facing me, I'm going to transition this way, boom, right into a tick-tock, you know. So it can get pretty cool. You just got to really learn to be creative. Watch a lot of your favorite pilots, watch some of their flights, and kind of look at what they do when they throw their trick combos together. Because that's really all a full 3D flight is a series of different choreographed moves, just one leading into the other. You know, if I want to do an inverted hover this way, transition out and do a turn this way, now I can flip it into a tick-tock, an aileron based one. From there I can start throwing in a pirouette flip, you know, and so they just kind of all bleed into each other, and your job as a pilot is to make them look really smooth and really creative. So on our next video we'll get a little bit more heavy, we'll get a little bit more technical, maybe some more advanced based moves instead of mid to beginner based. So with that being said, you guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.